Hello and welcome to video number 8. We're going to talk about organizing your content. So in the previous video, we talked about how to go about creating those pieces of content really fast, as you saw. Now I'm going to show you how to organize the content into what we call collections by using GetStencil. Okay, so what I like about GetStencil is it allows you to organize all of your content that you've created into what we call collections. And you can think of that as sort of like a folder. So what you need to do is simply go to the Saved Images section. And up at the top here, you want to click this link here, click on Collections, and then of course create collection. So you can create a collection, you can name it, click Create Collection, and that's it. So you will notice that I have about 192 images that are specific to women and about 1 to men. Now, in order to add an image to the collection, all you have to do is highlight the image. So for example, this image is not part of a collection. So all we have to do is simply click this here, and then click Collection, and then add that to that collection. So in this case, we'll select this, and it adds it straight away to this section. So now that you understand how to organize the content, we're going to talk about auto scheduling in the next video. But before we do that, I want to show you how to sort of manually post to social media sites inside of GetStencil. So what you can do is you can go to your account here. You can go to settings, and then you can connect your account to Facebook and other social media sites that are within GetStencil. Once you have done that, you can simply select the image that you want to post. Let's say this one here. We can click Share. And as you can see, you can post it manually to Facebook, to Twitter, to Pinterest, to all these other social media sites. But in order to do that, you have to connect to your accounts. So connect to Twitter, connect to all these other social media sites. So all you need to do is simply find the social media site that you want, find the image, click Share, and it'll automatically post that to that particular social media site. And that's it. So now that you know how to do things manually and you know how to organize things, let's talk about auto scheduling in the next video. Hello and welcome to video number 9. We're going to talk about auto scheduling your content. Now, here's why you want to auto schedule your content. As you begin to create more and more content, a lot of times you can create just using this method of simplified images with motivational quotes or words. You can create content at a very fast rate. And you could either do it yourself, or you could hire somebody and tell them, hey, I want you to go ahead and create maybe 365 days worth of content and pay them a couple $100, but then you're left with so many pieces of content that you need to auto schedule. So as you can imagine, auto scheduling is important to make your life a lot easier, but it's not just that. As you are aware of social media sites like Pinterest, like Facebook, Instagram, and more, these sites like to see you publish daily or on a consistent basis. And not just that, as you can imagine, your audience that comes to follow you, they're looking to hear from you on a day-to-day basis. So what ends up happening is it's a win-win situation. You're winning by saving a lot of time on your end, and in addition to that, you are also giving your audience content, increasing your engagement, and thereby the social media sites will see that and their algorithm will kick in and get you better rankings. So what kind of tools can you use? Well, let's talk about that right now. Okay, so over the years, we have tested many different social media management tools, and we've really come down to these few tools. Now, bear in mind that different social media management tools will oftentimes specialize in different social media sites. Some will have some will have others, and some will not have others. So that just keep that in mind there. Hootsuite.com is one of the really good platforms for not only social media management, but for bulk auto posting. In fact, you can use their what we call bulk composer to create a CSV file of all the content and all the posts that you want to create. You simply upload that to Hootsuite and it'll auto post to your social media sites. In fact, if you want to take a look at it closer, if you go to Hootsuite.com and under Platform, you go to Scheduling. And if you click on that, you'll be sent to this page. And as you can see, it says automatically schedule posts. And you can keep that active. So you can upload and schedule hundreds of messages at once. And this is really nice to have access to. Now, one note that I want to make before I talk about the other tools is that whenever you do auto scheduling, don't base it upon your own time zone. You really want to kind of analyze your audience and analyze the people that are following you and get a good gauge of where they might be located. Now, that might be hard because some people are located everywhere, but you want to get a generic or general idea of where most people are located. So if you can hit that sweet spot where most people are up and awake and then auto schedule it to release at that moment, you're most likely going to get more engagement. So that's a little bit of a strategy that we use and that has worked really well. So just keep that in mind when you do any type of auto scheduling or even manually posting, is to figure out when people are highly engaged and what time zone that might be. So the next tool is going to be mavsocial.com. That's MAV social.com. So this is a really good tool that allows you to auto schedule your content. So if we scroll down about 1/4 of the page, you can see here it says easily schedule and automate your posts. There's a huge amount of platforms out there that allow you to schedule and automate your posts, but we really came down to these few. So that's the second one, and of course the third one that you can check out is later.com. That's LATER.com. Now, you will notice, like I said, some auto scheduling tools will focus and specialize in different social media platforms. And later.com in this case is specifically focused on Instagram. And if you know anything about Instagram, you know that for the most part, you have to do everything on your smartphone. But later.com helps you with that, and it allows you to schedule Instagram posts. All right, so those are the 3 tools that we recommend that you go ahead and check out. You don't have to do this, and we recommend actually that you start doing things manually. And as you get the hang of posting, then switch to auto scheduling. Hello and welcome to video number 6. Let's talk about powerful words, because the combination between images and powerful words equals great content. It's simplified content, but it's enough to get your audience engaged. So images with motivational quotes are important. In fact, if you watch the videos beforehand where we looked at images that were part of related pages, you would have noticed that a lot of the images that were getting engagement had a lot of motivational quotes. So this is the simplified content that you can create really, really fast that will get engagement. So we're going to show you how to find quotes that are appealing to your audience. We're going to show you how to find images and more. Okay, so we're going to keep with the topic of knitting simply because we utilized that as an example in the previous videos. But what you need to do is simply go to google.com and do a search for these terms. So when you type in funny and then you put in the keyword or the niche, then it'll drop down and it'll tell you things like funny knitting memes, quotes, pictures, video sayings, GIFs, patterns, t-shirts, and more. Now, you have to get in the frame of mind of, okay, the people that are visiting your fan page, your Instagram, are they looking for funny? Are they looking for serious? What are they looking for? Now, what we like to do is we like to create a combination of and a variety of different things. We like funny, we like serious, we like different emotions. But if your audience is really serious, you might want to stick with just motivational quotes and things like that. But simply go to Google and you can do funny knitting memes. And memes are simply images with some funny text on it, as you can see here. And a lot of times you'll see things like 324, 146 best knitting memes. So that will give you some ideas on different content pieces that you can create. Now, obviously, as I said earlier, do not plagiarize, do not copy it as it is exact, but you can always rewrite it in your own words. You can always use similar images and things like that. Another keyword term that we would recommend that you use is motivational quotes, or even quotes space the keyword of your niche. So as you can see, motivational quotes, knitting, we can see other variety of search terms here. But if you scroll down, you'll see other things like this: 167 best knitting quote images, 25 best motivational knitting quotes, and all this. So what you're trying to do is simply, for now, get an idea of the images, and again, look for patterns. So are you seeing a similar color being used or a similar word being used? Things like that will stand out and will enable you to create content pieces in the form of images that are really engaging. All right, so for example, let's go ahead and we'll just open this one up here. And Pinterest is actually a great place to go to find a variety of quotes, words, and things like that. A lot of times you'll find people who create specific boards and they'll pin them and they'll have a huge list of quotes and words that you can use. So as you go through here, like I said, don't copy it, but get an idea. And what I recommend is, again, just like what we did with Facebook pages, look for images that are getting high engagement, meaning high pins and all that. And look for content pieces that have less words. Actually, the less words, the better. So that's one way of going about doing this. And that's it. So that's as simple as it gets. All right. So now let's move on to the next video. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 7. And we're going to talk about creating these simple pieces of content. Now, I'm going to show you different tools that you can use to create these pieces of content. Some of them range from using a site called GetStencil, Canva, and more. I'm going to show you how to use GetStencil, in just a minute. Okay, so the first site is getstencil.com. So it's stencil, but it's getstencil.com. I like to use this site primarily because it really is created for social media engagement. So all the images, all the templates that they give you are primarily focused on social media. Now, there are other sites like canva.com, so that's canva.com. This site will allow you to create other social media images as well, but it goes beyond that. It allows you to create things like e-covers and all of that. So that's why I really like to focus on GetStencil. Now, it does cost some money, but you can start out for free. You can create, I believe, a few images. I think it's 10. So if we click on pricing, as you can see, the free version allows you to create up to 7 images per month. What I recommend is go with the free version first, utilize it first. If you like it, then upgrade. All right. So what GetStencil allows you to do is it allows you to get access to tons of images and tons of motivational quotes. So that's why I like it, because you can find quotes that are built in. Now, even though maybe you're focusing on knitting, scuba diving, or whatever niche that you're in, you can utilize the quotes that in the words that we talked about in the previous video. But if you are aware of the audience and they're all women, maybe they're all men, you can use generic motivational quotes that are built in to GetStencil. So to give you an idea of how to go about doing that, let me go ahead and log into my account and show you around. Okay, so I went ahead and logged into my GetStencil account, and this is what we see. So when you have the free account, you will still see all of the images, but the images that you don't have access to will have a lock. All right, so that will tell you that you'll need to upgrade. But for the most part, I would say start with the free version so that you can get a hang of it. So what I recommend that you do is do a search for photos that appeal to your audience. Now, the reason why we did the audience research and looked at the affinity audiences and all of that was to gain a broader spectrum. So not only are we looking for a specific niche, but we're looking for images that appeal to that person. So if we know that our niche is filled with all women, we may want to stick with images that appeal to women. So for example, animals, beauty and fashion, and maybe love, maybe nature, maybe people, maybe textures. So you see what I'm saying here? We are really not focusing specifically on the niche, but we're really focusing on the person. All right. So let's say we want to use a generic motivational quote for that audience. This is how super and fast and easy it is. So let's say, for example, we want to use this one here. So all you have to do is simply click it. It gets in the background and you can enter text. So you can double click this and enter any text you want based on the content and the powerful words that you have researched. Or you can simply go to their quote section and you can see that they have about 10,000 plus quotes. So we can think, okay, the audience is women, so maybe we can focus on something like confidence. So what we can do is, and what we like to do is, if it is women, we like to try and find quotes by women. So that way we stick with the audience. So we could click on that. And what's nice is when you click on that, it'll automatically create the text. So we could move it over here like so. And do that. Now, of course, when you're ready to edit it, you can go ahead and change the text size here. You can change the line height, the drop shadow, if you want it to stand out. You can italicize it, you can underline it like that. You can change the text color, you can change the outline color, which is the outline or the border around the text. And of course, you can change the background color as well. So if we wanted to do something like that, we could do that. But in general, we like to kind of stick with a generic, something like this, like that. And when you're done, all you have to do is click on Save. And you could save it as a template if you wanted to. So we could click on Save. And it'll save the image. And what's nice about Get Stencil is it will actually save it to your account. And there we go. Now, if you don't want to use something like that from scratch, you can go ahead and click on Templates and you can look for Featured Templates. So if you go through here and you find a template that matches something that you have seen based on the research that you have done previously, you can go with that. So we can go through here, we can click this one here. And there we go. So we see an image here and then we see text. So if that's the format that you like, then stick with that. Now, what I recommend that you do with all of your images to try to keep things uniform and consistent is to stick with one template. That way, as people get to know you better and they follow you and they engage with you, that format will embed into their minds, and whenever they see that format, they will think of you. All right, so psychologically, that is what happens. All right, so that's how easy it is to create content with Get Stencil. We utilize this all the time, and we create tons and tons of images with powerful words and quotes and funny comments and all of that. And we actually outsource this out. So we have someone, and we can say we want 365 images with quotes by women. Or you can create an Excel spreadsheet and ask them to copy the words in and ask them to find images that fit that demographic. Or another thing you can do is if you want to find images that directly relate to that particular niche and you can't find that within Get Stencil, you can go to a royalty-free site, you can purchase the images, and then of course you go to Uploads here and simply drag and drop the images right here. Or you can select this and then find the images and upload them. And there you go. So that's how easy it is. And let's talk about organizing your images in the next video.